get it started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the 4FanSports podcast. I am Josh Wilson, and I'm joined by 4FanSports writer Nick Rapier and Tyler Hobbs. And we'd also like to welcome 4FanSports contributor Shelby Blevins to her first podcast.
Hello.
Hello. I was going to say, that's usually where we say hello to people.
Okay, well, you all didn't say anything, so...
Yeah,
he didn't stop talking in order for us to say anything.
Well, Hobbs, would you like to say hello to the lovely people at home?
Hello.
Nick, would you also like to say hello to the lovely people at home?
Hello, lovely people at home.
So there we go. Hello to everyone, and once again, welcome to
And Uggos.
What?
And Uggos.
Oh, yes, the non-lovely people at home. We also want to welcome you and thank you for supporting us as well, even if you're not as pretty as everyone else is. So, first things first, in our last podcast, which seems like it was a couple of years ago, but it was only a week and a half ago, we talked about the NFL playoffs, and we made our picks, and much like Tyler Hobbs' other picks, those were wrong. So, so we're basically going to call a do-over since we're in the championship games for each division now. And first
Conference.
What?
Conference.
Oh, sorry, conference. Since we're in the conference championships now. So let's go ahead and start with the AFC. We've got the Patriots and the Ravens playing in a game of people I dislike strongly. So since it's our first podcast, Shelby, why don't you go ahead and take us off here? What do you think we're going to see out of the Patriots and the Ravens game?
Honestly, I hate the Patriots so much that my hatred blinds me. So I'm all for the Ravens. I think that, I don't know, I think the Ravens are going to pull it out just because I feel like America hates the Patriots. At least I feel like they should. Because they are so up their own, they're so into themselves.
I share her hatred for the Patriots, but I disagree. I think the Patriots are going to beat them much like they did last year. This is a conference rematch from last year, and they don't have Billy Cundiff to choke it away. But the Ravens outplayed them last year, but you can't go against Tom Brady as much as people tend to hate him. He's a great quarterback, and I think the Patriots are probably going to win.
Nick,
I don't know, but Ray Lewis has that inspiration factor, too. I feel like whenever there's, an inspiring story, they get the edge. So they've got a lot of moments.
The only thing Ray Lewis is inspired to do is murder.
That's right. Ryan Potter's not available for the 4FanSports podcast, so Hobbs went ahead and got that in there for him, yeah. Nick, what do you got?
What happened last week, the Patriots more or less dominated the Texans. The score said they really didn't dominate them, but the Texans are, pretty balanced attack. The Patriots defense, stepped up when it had to. 41-28 doesn't really constitute domination, but, for most aspects of the game, they pretty much had them under control the whole time. Whereas, the Ravens, known for their defense, allowed 35 points to the Broncos. Didn't really play great defensively. Granted, it was against Peyton Manning. But, they won in a close game. They kind of got a little lucky. And they got that deep bomb towards the end of regulation, and I'm not quite sure how the Broncos let that happen. I mean, you have to say, don't let the ball get over your head. And what do? Oh my goodness, he's open down the sideline. And then at the other end, when the Broncos had a chance with 30-some seconds left, they just knelt the ball. They didn't even give it a go. I mean, you got to at least try, don't you? Anyway,
especially with Peyton Manning.
Right, exactly. With Peyton Manning as your quarterback, but just like I said, judging by the last year's AFC Championship game, the same teams, I'm gonna have to go with the Patriots. Man, it's just tough to pick against them at this time of year.
Yeah. And I normally go with the opposite. I normally take the team whoever beat the team that I thought was going to win. I usually pick them, but I'm not a big fan of the Ravens. I can't pick Joe Flacco over Tom Brady. I don't like either one of them, but when it boils down to it, Tom Brady is infinitely better than Joe Flacco.
Well, you see, it has been well documented in the 4FanSports podcast, my extreme hatred for Justin Bieber Sr. And I really, really, really hate everything that Tom Brady is all about, including his Ugg boots and his swishy hair. And the swishy hair may be the fact that my hair is curly and I can't make my hair swish, but that is an unrelated topic for another podcast. As I was saying,
wait for that podcast.
It's going to be the best podcast. I hate the Patriots. I was kind of hoping for some, magic that we saw happen over the course of the weekend with the Seahawks and everything. God, how good was that Seahawks game, though? I mean, it was just the best game.
It was pretty good.
Russell
Didn't think
Wilson's
that Ryan had it in him.
I wanted Russell Wilson to win that game so bad.
You guys and your Seahawks championship picks.
Anyways, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. As I was saying, I don't like the Ravens and I don't like the Patriots. So I'm going to have to go with the Ravens, and I'll tell you why. And this will also ruin my pick for the next game. I want the Ravens to win because I want it to be the Super Hard Bowl. And that's what I want it to be, the Super Harbaugh Bowl. And I'm trying to combine the word Super Bowl and Harbaugh, and it's not working out so well. But I want the Harbaugh brothers to face off in the Super Bowl. I think it would be awesome. I think it would be super cool, and it helps because I really don't care about the postseason anymore in the NFL because all the teams I was rooting for all lost this weekend. So I'm picking the Ravens on the sheer fact that if I don't, Ray Lewis may come kill us because we've said a lot of negative things about him, so I'm going to pick him. So there we go. All right. So going from there, we have the NFC Championship game, which is the 49ers versus the Falcons. And, Nick, I'm going to start with you since you picked the Falcons, and then you went back and decided not to pick the Falcons, and then the Falcons won. So, Nick, who you got in this game?
Well, much like my decision-making process, the game went back and forth. Regardless, I think the Niners are going to beat the Falcons, and it's going to maybe even set up the Super Harbaugh Bowl, how you eloquently so put it. But it was a good game. It speaks to how far Russell Wilson's already come. I don't think anyone saw him performing this well, especially this early. They had to come back. He led them on the way back, and then Matt Ryan, put the dagger in their throat and got them back into field goal range at the last second. But like you touched on earlier, what a great game it was. Pretty crazy, and that's really all you can ask for this time of year is good football games, unless of course you're cheering for one particular team, which I'm not. So there you go.
Me and Nicholas, we picked the Seahawks to go to the Super Bowl.
You did.
Out of a sheer gut feeling that we had. That's all that could be said is that it was a gut feeling that we went with. And I had never before rooted for the Seattle Seahawks the way I did on Sunday. I can openly admit that I was literally on the edge of my seat screaming and yelling because of how great tiny little Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks were coming. I wanted them to win so bad. And I watched it for the first half and said, great, this game's over. Me and Nick look like idiots. And then they start coming back and I go, oh my God, me and Nick are geniuses.
Right.
And then they lost, and I said, me and Nick are idiots.
At least we're not complete idiots.
But not complete idiots, yeah. Hobbs, go ahead. Who you got?
I like the 49ers in this one. I think I had the 49ers playing the Packers at this point.
You did.
If I'm not mistaken. And the Packers would have beaten the 49ers had they beaten whoever they lost to. I don't even remember.
Attaboy.
They played the 49ers.
They did actually play the 49ers.
Yeah, the Packers lost to the 49ers.
Because what happened was
how about Bib Apple? So I didn't have the 49ers at this point. So I am going to go with what I normally do, and I'm going to pick the team that beat the team that I picked. So I'm going with the 49ers. I think we're witnessing a star in the making or a star being born or whatever cliche you want to use in Colin Kaepernick. I keep thinking every week that he's going to choke it away, and I thought it was going to be this week against the Packers, that he's going to choke it away, and Harbaugh was going to look like an idiot for putting him in over Alex Smith, but he just keeps proving me wrong, and so I'm going to jump on the bandwagon, I guess. And good luck to your next destination, Alex Smith, because it's not with the 49ers.
All right, Shelby, what do you think?
I'm going to have to go also with the 49ers. Colin Kaepernick, he's a specimen. Like, I have never seen. He's literally, like, did he ever run track? Because he should think about that, maybe. He's got some legs on him. But their defense is going to have to tune up a little bit. Because I know in the Packers game, there was no defense at all for either team. And they're going to have to step that up. The Falcons, because the Falcons, they had that surge against the Seahawks at the end, so you got to watch out for that.
I also think I'm going to go with the 49ers, I guess. I'm going to pull Nick Rapier. I'm going with the Falcons, even though I want the 49ers to win. I think what happened with the Falcons this week just proves that they absolutely belong where they are. You have, this game where you're up 20-0 at the half, and the Seahawks come back. They're working on the greatest road comeback of a playoff game ever, and then you come back and you still win the game. You don't hang your head. You keep driving and you win the game. You don't take a knee with 30 seconds left. You go for the win. And I think that just proves that the Falcons are at least making the Super Bowl, that they are where they are supposed to be. I think it'll be a good game. I love Colin Kaepernick. I think he's pretty cool. He's got a really nice smile.
It sounds like you have kind of a crush on him. I was gonna say that I was gonna call out Shelby for having a crush on him, talking about his legs, but now it sounds like you're the one with the crush there, pretty boy.
Well, if I had a crush on any NFL quarterback, it would definitely not be Colin Kaepernick. It would probably be not Tom Brady. It would probably be
Aaron Rodgers.
Russell Wilson, because he's awesome. And
that's a comb over. He's got to be the first black person ever with a comb over.
That's not true and a little bit racist.
How's that racist?
Just a little bit, maybe.
It's just a
guy with a comb over, and I will apologize.
All right,
Wilson.
So, of the 4 teams left, Hobbs, who's winning the Super Bowl?
Oh, sweet God. The stupid Patriots, man, probably. Tom Brady is a douchebag, from his Ugg boots all the way up to his Justin Bieber hair. But the Patriots are a well-balanced team. Their defense has improved greatly from last year. And they've established a running game with Shane Vereen and Stephen Ridley. And so I think they'll beat the 49ers in a very close game.
To quote our own Shelby Blevins on Twitter, anybody but the Patriots, Hobbs. Anybody. Anybody but the Patriots.
Let's get that nationally trending.
National trend. To our 65 followers on Twitter, I need you to nationally trend anybody but the Patriots. I need that to happen. Shelby, who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl?
As much as it pains me to say, I think the Patriots got it. It's like, I don't know. I think, it hurts me to say it. I can't even go on. I really can't.
If the Patriots play the Falcons, though, they're going to murder them.
The Patriots, you think, will murder the...
They would kill the Falcons. I think they're going to play the 49ers, but if they were to play the Falcons, they would kill them.
Nicholas?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and go ahead and guarantee a Niners victory, which means they'll be partying like it's 1949 in San Francisco. I haven't really decided what to say I'll do if they don't win. I guess we can discuss that as the podcast goes further. But I am going to guarantee a 49ers Super Bowl victory this year.
He is guaranteeing a
Did you
49ers.
the Patriots or the Ravens, Nick?
Patriots.
Oh.
Guaranteeing the 49ers over the Patriots.
Ooh.
Guaranteeing it, he said. How do you guarantee that, Nick? I don't...
Okay, that's a solid question. I just feel like their style of play is just going to completely dominate them. Their defense is definitely much superior to the Patriots. I don't think the Patriots defense is going to have any answer for the Kaepernick Gore show. that they've got going on. And I think the defense will at least slow down Tom Brady enough to where they can't keep up. That's a tough thing to do, especially in the playoffs, is to slow down Tom Brady. But, they put up 45 points this past week, the Niners did, and that's kind of crazy. But especially for the Niners, you don't think of them as, the Tom Brady-esque, Peyton Manning-esque offenses. But they scored the most points last week. And like I said, the Patriots' defense is definitely not up to par with the Niners. So that's my reasoning.
All right, well, let's see here. You said they're going to party like it's 1949. You know who was Super Bowl NFL champions in 1949?
I don't, but I got a feeling you're going to tell me.
Well, you see, it was the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, God.
I must be psychic.
I'm just kidding. It was the Eagles.
Oh, man.
But I will tell you this, Nick. Signs do look good for you if you go for this right here, because you know who won the World Series in 1949?
The Gigantes, I'm guessing.
The New York Yankees.
Oh, okay.
Who is Nick Rapier's favorite MLB team? The New York Yankees. You know
The
who
Jets.
was the NCAA basketball champion in 1949?
Who?
The University of Kentucky.
Kentucky Wildcats.
Exactly.
How
They
do
were
you
pretty
not
good back
know
then.
that? Can I make a grand gesture here?
Go ahead, grand
If
gesture.
you don't know every year that Kentucky won the national championship, you are not a good fan.
All right.
48, 49, 51, 58, 78, 98, 2012, 96.
You just skipped 96. It didn't come after 2012. It came before.
That
But-
you know of.
Further proof Nick Rapier is right. In 1949, the Stanley Cup was won by the Toronto Maple Leafs, who we all know is Nick Rapier's favorite hockey team.
Well, they may or may not be my favorite hockey team, but I do love me a good Maple Leaf.
Exactly. Not to mention, you also love Silly Putty, which was the #1 toy on Christmas that year, and Candyland, which was the #1 board game of the year.
Which is my second favorite board game to Monopoly.
Exactly. So the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl, according to Nick Rapier. They're going to go home, play some Candyland and with Silly Putty, and then they're going to watch an Eagles game followed by a Yankees game, and then they're going to come to the University of Kentucky.
My grandfather was 14 in the year that you were talking about. Can we move on?
Yeah, we can move on now. So, also news in the NFL that we want to cover, of course, because we love covering it. We found out this year that we actually really enjoy covering it, is the coaching carousel that is in the NFL. So we have some coaches who have actually found new jobs. Philadelphia's Andy Reid is going to oh man,
Kansas City.
Lisa. No, he's not. He's going to Arizona.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Close.
How about that?
They're both red teams.
They are both red teams, and they both have. Nope, that's about it. So Andy Reid is going to Arizona, and Philadelphia still hasn't had a coach. So you know what that means? That means that Andy Reid wins in that relationship dispute. Any girl will tell you, whoever gets the next person that they're dating wins. Right, Shelby?
Yep, he has won the breakup. Andy Reid.
Andy Reid won the breakup. We had rumors that Lovie Smith was going to go to Philadelphia. We've heard rumors of this and that. Philadelphia is starting to sound a lot like the University of Tennessee because they can't lock down a coach to save their lives. So, Hobbs, who do you think Philly's going to eventually go with? After the recording of this 4FanSports podcast, the Philadelphia Eagles have since hired Oregon's Chip Kelly to be their new head coach, much to the enjoyment of everyone here at 4FanSports, including myself, who called this from the very beginning. We'd like to return you to your regularly scheduled 4FanSports podcast, already in progress.
I have no idea.
All right. You don't have...
Your guess is as good as mine. I'll tell you what I think the Jaguars are going to get because it just scrolled across the bottom line.
All right, go ahead. Who are the Jaguars?
I think the Jaguars are going to get Brian Schottenheimer because they're interviewing him on Tuesday.
As the Eagles,
Associated Press.
As the Eagles have proven this season, it doesn't matter how many people you interview because that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get anybody.
But I've done my research on Brian Schottenheimer, and he is a great interviewer.
Since the recording of this 4FanSports podcast, the Jacksonville Jaguars have hired former Seahawks defensive coordinator Gus Bradley. Sorry, Hobbs.
You did.
So he's going to go into the Jaguars office to that jerk-off GM that just got hired, and he is going to say, hey, we can win 5 games here, and they're going to be blown away, and they're going to hire him.
All right. Well, they say
and he's Marty Schottenheimer's son.
They say here that the Jaguars are rumored to be going after Jay Gruden, Greg Roman, Keith Armstrong, and Brian Schottenheimer. Oh wait, Hobbs, I apologize. I was wrong. I thought that the Cardinals named Andy Reid their head coach, but he's going to Kansas City.
Oh.
And you can kindly...
All right. So facts are never optional. Hobbs was right. I was wrong. And the Cardinals are still looking for a head coach.
But Andy Reid still won the relationship battle. And that's
Andy
all
Reid
anyone
still won that breakup, yeah. But we actually, first of all, who is Rob Chudzinski? Because Nick was telling me how Skip Kelly was going to go to the Browns, and the Browns...
Who the hell is Skip Kelly?
What?
I said Skip Kelly. Who in the hell is
Kelly?
Yeah, I don't think I told you Skip Kelly was going to the Browns.
Let's run it back here a little bit. All right, well, Nick, tell us more about Rob Chudzinski.
The only thing I know about Rob Chudzinski is that his name is extremely hard to pronounce. Where's he from?
He was on the Browns staff a few years ago.
And they thought he deserved another job? The Browns are
He
awful.
did absolutely nothing to deserve this job.
The Browns are terrible.
Whenever I saw breaking news on ESPN, I was with Nick, and I told him I thought that he probably deserved to be fired from his other job. I can't remember where he was. I think he was an offensive coordinator somewhere. And they didn't do very good. So the Browns are going to continue their whatever the word I'm looking for is, tradition of sucking.
All right. So let me just read you the list of what the Eagles have done so far. They fired Andy Reid. They interviewed Bill O'Brien, who said, "Nah, I'm going to stay at Penn State," which is good for him because they need a little bit of consistency with that football team after everything that's happened. Then they say, "All right, well, we're going to interview Lovie Smith, who obviously got the job done in Chicago," and he says no. They interview
job done in Chicago.
They interview Mike Nola.
He did get the job done in Chicago.
He went 10-6 this year.
He took him to the Super Bowl.
I mean, I think he was a great coach. I can't believe they fired him. I've already said that.
He did as good as you could do with Jay Cutler as your quarterback.
That's true. We did say that he's done as good a job as you can. I can't believe they fired him. I'll be honest with that. I honestly also can't believe he hasn't got another job yet. I thought he was going to get picked up real quick.
He'll be a head coach somewhere.
I thought he was going to pull a Rob Ryan and be unemployed for 5 minutes. Has anybody hired Rob Ryan yet, by the way? Because that was a stupid thing to say.
No,
I didn't think so. Mike Nola interviewed for the Philadelphia Eagles job. Keith Armstrong, Chip Kelly, who said, "Nah, screw Josh Wilson. I'm staying at Oregon."
Since the recording of this 4FanSports podcast, Chip Kelly has since said, "Hey, that Josh Wilson, he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to take an NFL head coaching job. Hello, Philadelphia." We now return you to your 4FanSports podcast, already in progress.
Mike McCoy interviewed, Brian Kelly interviewed, and again, like I said, Lovie Smith. They're also talking about going after Jay Gruden, Bruce Arians, Greg Roman, and Gus Bradley. So the Eagles, like I said, are starting to look like Tennessee, and maybe just maybe, they'll be also giving Philip Fulmer a call.
I'd say he'd go there with open arms.
I'd say he probably would, too, because the only other job he's had in a while was a cameo in The Blind Side, but he did just a lovely job. Just an outstanding job in that movie. All right, so, guys,
before we exit the coaching carousel realm, can I suggest why hasn't anyone hired Jim Tressel yet? I understand, he comes with a 5-game suspension, but I mean, if you're, say, I don't know, just throwing a team at Akron, because they're in Ohio and so is where he was, why wouldn't you hire a coach who's available, will pretty much take any job offered, and has won a national championship?
Well, that's a really, really good question. But also, even that,
I kind of want him with UK. I mean, yes, I mean, we were on probation, and, we've had our share of cheating. Let's not pretend like no one has, but, so we kind of struggled to hire him, but if you're a really crappy program like, say, Kentucky, why wouldn't you go and hire him?
It's
comes with him.
It's a really good question. I think some of it is, like you said, the baggage that comes with him, but also let's look at the whole why hasn't anybody from the NFL called? I mean, if you're going to go after some of these coaches that they're talking about, why hasn't anybody from the NFL called him? He wouldn't have a 8-game suspension in the NFL. He could go right away from day one. You have, Doug Marrone got a job. I mean, it's the Bills, so who cares? But I'm just saying.
His name sounds really close to moron.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know exactly how the coach from Syracuse gets a call before Jim Tressel gets a call. That's a really good question. I don't have an answer to. The Bears have talked to a lot of people, too. They interviewed Mike McCoy and Bruce Arians, but they're rumored to go after a whole bunch of people. But there's a lot of names on here, or a lot of names that aren't. I'm looking at some website. It's actually a Patriots website, so I feel dirty while I'm doing it. But it's
closet Patriots fan.
I'm not a closet Patriots fan. How dare you? It's kind of interesting to say whose names aren't on here. So, I mean, we still got a little while to go. I think, of course, my boy Chip, like I said, he decided he wasn't going to go to the NFL after all college football season long. I was telling people he was going to go to the NFL. He decides not to go to the NFL, making me look just like the smartest human being in the world.
Just kidding. Once again, Chip Kelly has taken the job at Philadelphia, much like I said at the beginning of the college football season. And once again, we return you to your 4FanSports podcast, already in progress.
But we'll see what happens. I think, honestly, did you hear about what happened with Brian Kelly in the press conference before the national championship game? He said, defer all those questions to my agents. I'm not going to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. Then somebody from CBS says, so you wouldn't be interested in going to the NFL? He said, of course I'd be interested in going to the NFL. That's like the next step. You go up to the next level to see if you can handle that. So why wouldn't I want to go to the NFL? Right before
Sammy
the
didn't go
national
before Notre Dame got killed.
Yeah, I think that hurt his stock just as much as it hurt Manti Te'o's.
No.
All right. So is everybody cool with the head coaching stuff, or anybody want to say anything else about the head coaches?
Brian Schottenheimer is the best name out there, and whoever gets him is going to get a solid 5-win season.
I feel like Brian Schottenheimer may not be the best name out there still, but to each his own.
In case any of the NFL teams hadn't heard yet, my name is still on the table. No one's offered me a job yet.
Exactly. Hit us up. We have 2 very capable former Powder Puff coaches on staff, and we also have
who lost a freshman.
Don't divulge our...
We coached our senior Powder Puff team, and they lost to freaking freshmen.
Let's not divulge all our secrets, Hobbs.
An 0-1 record isn't that bad. And I am better at coaching dudes than chicks anyways.
Exactly.
Anyone is.
Well, there we go.
Wait, I have
So
one
there
more
you
thing
go.
about the
Save
coaching.
me from making a sexist statement.
I have one more thing about the coaching. Can we get a spelling on that Trzynski guy?
Spelling
I
on
can
Trzynski.
wait. CHUDZINSKI.
There it is.
Trzynski.
That's how
Sorry,
you
I was
spell
wondering.
Rob
Is that correct?
Trzynski's. That is exactly how you spell Rob Trzynski's name.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be an English teacher.
And if not, who cares? Because he'll be looking for a job next year. So it's cool. But yeah, NFL front offices, hit us up because we will definitely. I mean, we could do way better than Andy Reid did this year. So hit us up because we can do that. We can lose games. All right, so we're going to transition from already. Here we go. Great transition. Speaking of losing games, this weekend saw number 1 Duke go down, and the other unbeaten team, Michigan, also go down. Now, Nick Rapier has Michigan picked for a national championship win this year. Nick, what happened this weekend?
Well, I actually worked. I didn't really have a pleasure of watching the game. I do know Ohio State's tough to go play against at their place. That goes without saying. I did not ever claim they were going undefeated. So a couple losses along the road may or may not happen. But I still wager Michigan beats anybody on a neutral site. I still feel that way. They just got such strong guard play. Their backcourt's coming along as well, or front court. I apologize. Coming along as well. The big dudes down low, and I mean just that 2-guard tandem in Burke and Hardaway Jr. It's just tough to beat, man. Those guys are both extremely talented basketball players. But the rankings work the way they do. They lost, they drop. That's just how it works. I'd say they'll still be in the mix coming the end of March and beginning of April.
All right. Cool. So we also saw. We also saw something that, of course, I can speak for the 4 of us that we would always love to see, and that is Duke lost to NC State. Shout out to NC State. It's our big favorite.
I love NC State. NC State's my favorite school.
Thank you, Ryan, for Ryan Harrow, by the way.
So,
and thanks.
So, anyways, Duke loses to NC State, and then NC State decides we're going to storm the court after beating the number 1 unbeaten team, even though we were picked to win the conference this year. Guys, honestly, when is this whole storming the court thing going to end for a regular season game? I mean,
NC State has what I like to call the Louisville syndrome, which is kind of the little brother. And they have the displeasure of being little brother to both North Carolina and Duke. And you're just playing up to the fact that you're the little brother when you storm the court. Like, if you want to be mentioned and considered relevant, then you would never storm the court. That's basically saying we shouldn't have won, but we did.
Agree. Absolutely agree.
Like, I don't know about y'all, but I can't ever remember a Kentucky game storming Rupp Arena. No one ever will. No one ever has. There's no scenario where we would storm the court unless we were playing all of our walk-ons against Louisville and we beat them on a Jared Polson buzzer beater. I might storm the court, but I'd probably be the only one.
Well, let me speak from experience, because I think I'm the only one on this podcast, correct me if I'm wrong, that has ever stormed a field/court after a victory.
That's not right. That's super false.
I've stormed a field after a loss.
We, all 3 of us stormed a football field together after Nelson County beat Bardstown in high school football our senior year.
I was not speaking of high school.
I'm just saying it happened.
Whenever Kentucky lost in a 6 or 7 overtime game, I have stormed the field twice. both times had to get back in my seat because the game was not over. But it was fourth and very long, and they converted on a defensive pass interference. Converted, scored, and the game continued. And then I stormed the field again, and then we lost. But I was sitting on the goalpost.
Well, I'll revise my statement as to being the only one who stormed the court in a victory then.
Right.
No, I actually, when UK beat Tennessee in football, me and my dad ran out there. So.
Boom!
Well, I was at that game.
Did you storm the field?
I didn't. I stormed it against LSU, actually.
Well, you're not as cool as Gary Blevins.
Oh. Wham! Are we giving daddy references? Are we giving daddy shout-outs? I'll give a shout-out.
Yeah, let's all do that.
Hi, Dad. You're not listening at all.
Hey, Dad, thanks for consistently being the only person who listens to the podcast. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Well, if we're shouting out our dads, I might as well shout mine out too. How's it going, Mr. Dad?
Mr. Dad.
Nice.
Nick Rapier Sr.
All right.
He'll be quick to tell you there's no senior in his name. It's just Nick Rapier. I just have a junior in mine.
Oh, all right, well.
Can we call you Junior?
No, you cannot.
Tune in next week where we shout out our moms. No, all right. So, anyways, storm of the court. I think it looks dumb. It almost killed Darius Miller, and I think it looks dumb.
And our Playboy Playmate.
We only storm the court when we win national championships. So check that down. Anyways, Duke loses. And so does Michigan. No longer any undefeated left. And the new AP poll comes out this season, or this week. And it's, once again, a triumvirate of hate as far as I'm concerned for 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 is the University of Louisville. Number 2 is the Indiana. And number 3 is Duke. And number 4 is Kansas. So actually that's a quadruplet of hate, I guess you could say. Number 5 is Michigan, and nobody but Nick cares about them. So anyways, Louisville's number 1. So, Hobbs, what do you make of...
Also receiving votes are AIDS and the Al-Qaeda and other awful,
terrible things. Hobbs, what do you make of Louisville being the number 1 team in the nation?
Well, I mean, I guess they deserve it, sort of. I mean, regardless of whether they had Gorgie Dang or not, they'd lost to Duke. So, Duke should be number 1. That's just kind of, I guess Louisville lost before Duke, so they didn't fall below them. But, I mean, it's all arbitrary anyways, I guess.
All right.
The Associated Press, it's bogus. I mean, everyone likes having the number 1 seed, so congratulations, Louisville. Enjoy it while you can, because you're going to lose to Syracuse. But, I mean, yeah.
Well, this is only the second time in the entire history of ever that Louisville was ranked number 1. The first time ever in the regular season. Ever. So,
We've been ranked number 1 more times than that since Cal's been here.
Exactly. So, kudos to you guys for being number 1. That's awesome. Congrats. Indiana's number 2, and I'm not really sure why, because we haven't heard anything from them since the beginning of the season.
They're playing the cakes, man. University of Hostess.
Well,
they play all the cakes.
The University of Hostess actually declared bankruptcy and is no longer real. But
you're no longer real.
They can be playing the Fighting Little Debbies, but other than that, all right, cool.
We all agreed that funfetti cupcakes are the best, though.
Absolutely.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah,
no other cupcake exists.
Funfetti, cupcakes, and cake are just pretty much the greatest boxed cakes ever.
So who does everyone think is the best team in the country?
Best team in the country. Shelby, who's the best team in the country?
Definitely not Louisville.
All right. So who is it?
Anyone in the world?
I'm not really sure. It could
Alright.
be, you all talk about it.
Wait till having an opinion.
Hard hitting journalism from our girl.
That's
Say
me.
it from the gut.
What?
Speak for women everywhere.
You are
Had to pick.
you are the girl for 4FanSports.com, so you have to speak for women everywhere.
I do, and we're not going to make you all any more sandwiches, so that's what I have to say about that.
All right. All right, Nick.
When she put Miracle Whip on it, I don't like it.
Nick, who's the best team in the country?
We all know how I feel about the Wolverines, man.
Michigan. I'm going to go with Duke.
Duke.
I think they're the most well-balanced team, though I am impressed by Kansas right now.
All right.
And they are the host of who I think should be the National Player of the Year, but we'll talk about that later.
I think the best team in the nation is probably. I'm gonna go with Duke. I think they're the best team in the nation as long as they're not ranked number 1 and undefeated. I think eventually, you've got that stigma of being number 1. You've got that stigma of being undefeated, which we saw Louisville struggle with earlier tonight. With that stigma of being number 1. With number 1 comes basically a curse. If you're not number 1, then you can always beat number 1. But if you're number 1, everybody's just shooting to beat you. So I think Duke will be good as long as they're not ranked number 1.
Yeah. I mean, Seth Curry, Brian Kelly, Mason Plumlee, they're very good. They're very balanced all the way around. Guard play, big men everywhere. They're very good. I think they could match up with Indiana very well. I don't think Louisville is in contention with either one of them, but they are obviously top tier. But I'd say Duke and Indiana are head over heels better than everyone else.
That being said, everybody needs to go check out a great website. It's called DidDukeWin.com, and it's pretty much just the best website ever. So when you get a chance, check out
After 4FanSports.
DidDukeWin.com, and it's pretty fantastic. Shelby just checked out DidDukeWin.com.
I did.
So. For those of you who haven't checked it out yet, DidDukeWin.com is a website that just says no. It's a big no on the website, and that's it. And it's hilarious. But yeah, I think, let's see here. Since we're in the middle of January, it's totally acceptable for us to go ahead and talk bracketology. The 4 number 1 seeds as of right now, and this is totally weird to me, and I don't understand rankings, and I don't understand number 1 seeds at any point in this bracketology, but it's Duke, Michigan, Louisville, and Arizona, who is not even in the top 5, but they're a number 1 seed for some reason. Then your number 2s are Indiana, Syracuse, Kansas, and Gonzaga.
I can tell you why that is.
Why is that, Hobbs?
Because they wouldn't put Indiana at a number 1 if they are predicting that Michigan is going to win their conference.
Okay, but
They're
why
not going to
not?
put 2 of the same team in the same conference.
Why not Kansas?
Because.
Oh, okay, cool. And then teams of interest throughout all of 4Fan Sportsdom. They've got, let's see here, Detroit as a number 14 seed. We all know how much we love Detroit. Minnesota is a 3 seed. Shout out to Tubby. He's doing a great job this season.
Mm-hmm.
Florida is
glorious.
Florida is a 3 seed. The Stephen F. Austin Fighting Lumberjacks are a 13. Axum Jacks. And the University of Kentucky is a 7 seed. Currently playing in the West, fighting against Oregon. So
that's a win. You win that one.
Beat Oregon.
Who would we have? Who's our 2?
Gonzaga in Los Angeles.
We beat them. We're going to the Sweet 16, boys. And Shelby.
And Shelby.
All
right, so
Hobbs again, and they can stop us.
Hobbs kind of hinted at it. Hobbs, who is your player of the year in college basketball?
I want to go last because I'm going to blow your minds.
All right, never mind. Nick, who is your player of the year in college basketball?
I'm going to go second to last because I am not going to blow your minds.
All right, Shelby, who's your player of the year in college basketball?
Elston Turner? You think? No?
You bitch. Oh, all right, we can edit that out. Shelby.
The cheap shot. All right. My number one player of the year, my player of the year is, unfortunately, it's not Nerlens Noel, who I think kind of got a little Anthony Davis syndrome. But I'm going to have to go with pass.
Fine, I think that Jeff Withey is going to win.
Jeff Withey?
Yes. That line is better than Anthony Davis's last year.
All right.
It's along those lines. He's averaging 12, 10, and 4.
All right.
The way he affects the game, it's great. Have you seen? I'm watching him now. How he blocks every shot. Whether he blocks it or not, he affects every shot. And he's a good player.
I'll be honest with you, man.
And I don't want to say the obvious and say Cody Zeller or even Russ Smith, who's having a great year for Louisville, or Seth Curry. So I'm going off the grid, and I'm saying Jeff Withey.
I'll be honest with you, man.
The credit he deserves.
I hate picking big, ugly white dudes to win anything. So I'm not picking Jeff Withey.
So did Jay Redick.
All right, Nick, who's your player of the year?
My player of the year is probably going to have to be Doug McDermott from Creighton. You know, he was in the conversation last year.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's doing the same thing this year. He's really doing work. He's scoring 23.6 points a game. You know, he plays for Creighton, so they don't get all the exposure, they don't get all the coverage, they don't get all the news stories. But I mean, he does his thing week in and week out, and you know, he certainly is the most valuable person on that team because without him, they would probably be even less relevant than they already are.
All right, nice, I like it.
And Wilson.
Oh man, I don't want to know. I don't want to pick.
Not that hard. Just pick one person.
I pick.
Nobody's listening anyways.
That's a good point. Well, then I pick Brandon Trish.
Who?
I'm just kidding. No, you want my crazy wild pick for player of the year? I gotcha. Ready? Here we go.
All right, here comes the big build-up. Just say it, woman.
Isaiah Canaan from Murray State.
That's awful.
Yeah, Isaiah Canaan from Murray State.
They put him on Jeff with you, pick?
He averaged 19 points a game, and he's 45% from the three-point line.
That's like our whole
Big who cares?
And if not him, then Aaron Kraft from Ohio State.
That's not true either. The three leading people now are Trey Burke, which I thought Nick would pick because he loves him some Michigan. Seth Curry, Cody Zeller. And nobody picked any of them. Nice. And Russ Smith.
I'm also going to pick...
and Mason Plumlee.
I'm also going to pick Mike Moser.
And Michael Carter-Williams.
And I'm also going to pick Kenny Boynton.
At some point, we'll do a draft.
C.J. Leslie.
$1.
C.J. Leslie.
No, he's not going to win either.
Sean Miller.
He's a coach.
No, he's a forward at Cornell. He was the Ivy League's Rookie of the Year. He had 8 points a game, 6 rebounds a game, and 1.7 blocks per game.
Sean Miller is the coach of Arizona.
I said Sean Miller.
That's his name, Sean Miller.
Well, Sean Miller is also a forward at Cornell, so get on it.
Very common name. Anyways.
our friend Shelby on the podcast for the first time. And since Shelby is new to the 4FanSports world, and we want everybody to welcome her with open arms, and we want to reach a women's demographic, Shelby, why don't you go ahead and tell us who the most attractive man in all of sports is right now?
Can I answer for? Because I don't know this.
Shut up,
I've got an
Hobbs.
answer too.
Hey, where's number 12 for the green and yellow cheeseheads?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is hot.
You think Aaron Rodgers is the most attractive man in sports?
You know,
He's
I know
very
a little bit
man.
more than just looks, so, you know.
Are you talking about his male parts?
Or his
I
beard?
know nothing about that. I'm just saying I like guys with heart. Like, if an athlete has a good, like, if he's tough on the field and he's attractive, that makes him even better. And if he doesn't have any, like, lawsuits or Twitter feuds or anything like that, that definitely, like,
And he
adds
pretends
to
to
it.
wear a championship belt
Yeah, that helps.
when he scores.
I have a championship belt.
All right.
We talk
Which
about
one do you
it.
think?
While I do respect Aaron Rodgers, I think the undisputed most attractive man, no homo, in sports has got to be Anthony Davis. I mean, the guy is just a stud.
He radiates sex appeal.
Right.
Well, absolutely. I think that's exactly who it is. No, I think it's definitely, first of all, speaking of Twitter feuds, it's definitely not Brandon Whedon.
Fair.
He's a 40-year-old rookie, and that's just gross. And he's a ginger, and he gets into Twitter feuds with everybody for no reason. Disqualified immediately. No, you know who the most attractive man in sports is? LeBron James.
No.
False.
His
LeBron
hairline.
James is receiving.
I don't care, dude. LeBron James is the man. Okay, fine. I change it. It's Johnny Manziel.
I guess that's fair enough.
It's perfectly fair. If you go by what her guidelines were, he has an amazing heart. He does amazing things on the football field, and you can't be ugly if you bag models in Mrs. Texas and stuff like that. So, Johnny
Well, if
football.
we're based on who has the hottest girlfriend, AJ McCarron wins.
AJ McCarron. But have you seen AJ McCarron's tattoo?
Yes, it's really lame.
I don't understand how someone. Yeah, okay, his girlfriend's hot, but I don't understand how his tattoo got him that girlfriend. It's clearly all about the money.
I don't think the tattoo got him the girlfriend.
That is awful.
But the most attractive male athlete is Kobe Bean Bryant.
See, you just no.
No.
Kobe Bryant still has hair.
Okay,
Yeah, because he
Yes.
shaves it.
but let's
Player.
can we review Shelby's rules again? They can't have any charges brought against them ever. We
What's
got
the point?
anything?
Okay, they could have one for, like, some street cred. They could have, like, not,
go.
like, murder or DUI, but something, like, little, you know? It gives them more edge.
Like, right.
God, like statutory rape.
Oh,
Not like that.
oh, good.
I'm talking, like, shoplifting or...
Okay, one, the girl admitted that she just had sex with him, that he didn't rape her. Let's be honest. No white girl in the world wouldn't have sex with Kobe Bryant.
Just because you wouldn't have sex with Kobe Bryant doesn't mean that.
She said that she likes guys that play with heart. Show me a person that plays with more heart than Kobe Bryant, and I will show you no one, because no one does. And 3, have you seen him? And have you seen Vanessa?
I saw the rock that he gave.
Well, I got some bad news for you guys. Vanessa is dead.
Oh, God.
I mean, I've got some bad news for you, Hobbs, because I seen Vanessa and that rock she's got on her finger after, he raped a girl. So he raped a girl.
Rape her.
He raped her.
She was trying to get. Were you there?
were you there to see Ray Lewis stab a man?
Yeah.
No weapon, Hobbs. No
There's a
weapon.
difference. No guy is going to be like, oh, Ray Lewis killed me. I'm going to try and rape the benefit. Well, break the benefit. So I'm just going to kill myself and say Ray Lewis did it. No. Now, a white girl who's poor, who knows who Kobe Bryant is, could try and do him and say that he raped her in order to get money out of him.
I don't care.
Correct.
Rape and murder are two completely different things.
Kobe Bryant is not the most attractive male athlete. He's not.
Shelby, is Kobe Bryant more attractive than LeBron James?
Ooh, that's tough.
No,
Kobe's
Neither
got this
coach is
little
more
head.
attractive than Anthony Davis.
Oh my gosh, Anthony Davis wins every time.
Anthony Davis is butt ugly. Okay, I understand. We all like him. He played for Kentucky. That's great. But the guy is hideous.
Let's hope he doesn't hear this, Hobbs.
I don't care. Anthony, if you were listening, you know you're ugly. I know you're ugly. We accept that. I love you for who you are.
All right. So Shelby thinks that Aaron Rodgers is the most attractive sports figure, and I just don't even see it. And everybody
Are you
else has...
attracted to males anyway?
No, I'm not.
Well,
I'm just...
I don't really know.
I don't have a man crush on Aaron Rodgers, so there we go.
Ramble off a few, Shelby, just so I can, because I knew Aaron Rodgers.
All right, Cam Newton. He's really cute.
I was going to say Cam Newton, too. Just saying.
Say it.
Says the gay guy.
I think Dwayne Wade's really attractive.
Oh my God, he has so much jacked up teeth and the biggest lips in the world. But he's banging Gabrielle
Hobbs'
Union.
second racist statement of the day.
Second racist statement of the podcast.
But that's probably just because she couldn't get with LeBron.
Probably because LeBron's the man.
No,
Yeah, he's
the man with the receding hairline.
the man with that
We're getting
brain.
beat by 17 to the Jazz right now.
Yes. That's
Well,
that
you
should
can't win every game, alright?
you could.
Alright, so we did this.
1, not 2, not 3.
We did this.
4.
We did this for Shelby. So Nick, who is the most attractive woman sports figure in all of sports?
Jeez, that's a tough one. I'm going to have to go Brittany Griner.
I think we've done this before, and I think Nick said Brittany Griner last time.
I don't think this was in a podcast. We just hit on Brittany Griner a lot.
Cut it out, remember?
Yeah, we did. We cut it out.
Cut it out again.
Yeah, I will. Hobbs, Hobbs, don't steal mine, but who is the most attractive woman in sports?
I would have to say my fiance, because I don't want to get in trouble.
She's no longer in sports. It's cool. Go ahead.
We will go with Alex Morgan.
No, I told you not to steal mine. I said
Morgan.
steal it, Hobbs.
Hope Solo. Burr.
I said don't steal it, and you stole it.
Patrick.
You stole it. I was going to go with Alex Morgan, but I'm also going to go with Nastia Lugan, who used to be a gymnast, because I have a thing for gymnasts.
And she's nasty.
She's nasty. Nice. I like it. But yeah, Nastia Lugan and Sean Johnson also. So
I don't know if I could deal with a girl named Sean, man. I don't think I could do that to myself.
It's
I
dope.
know I could.
I hope it's not Abby Wambach because she's a dyke.
Oh, we're definitely going to have to edit that out.
Brandy
Brandon,
Chastain took her shirt off
Relocation.
years ago.
Mia Hamm's hot.
I think it's her. Maybe. Let's see if it's her.
Derek Jeter! How did we forget Derek Jeter?
He's a biracial angel.
Go back. Derek Jeter's the most attractive male athlete. Point blank, period. Anyone can argue they can't. Because he's beautiful.
Okay, I got it.
I would have to go second to Anthony Davis, but yeah, DJ's cutie.
Sydney LaRue is also really, really attractive.
I'm gonna Google her.
From the Grinch?
Cindy Lou.
Yeah, that's who I said. Cindy Lou Who. No.
She's a little girl, man. That's kind of pedophile-ish there, Sandusky boy.
Sydney LaRue.
And what sport does she play?
She plays on the U.S. women's soccer team. And she's also real cute. And then from the Canadian women's soccer team, I think this is her. Her name's Kaylin Kyle. And yes, that sounds like a porn star name, but she plays soccer.
Nothing wrong with that.
Shelby, who is your most attractive female in sports?
I'm going to have to agree with Nastia. I've had a girl crush on her for a while.
Yeah.
She's
Give us a
Nastia,
couple.
as Nick
You gotta
said.
name a few.
I like Danica because I like girls that can drive.
Ooh, Danica's a good pick.
You mean the one?
The
Yeah,
one-
And she can't drive because she wrecks every race. Every
Wow.
single race.
She gives it a
60%
try.
of the time, she wrecks every time.
It's a true
It's
story.
okay. She looks good doing it, so.
Sex Panther.
So does Earnhardt, but I'm not going to say he's the most attractive female athlete.
I will say this, though. When Dale Earnhardt has a full beard, he's kind of got a good thing going. All right, so awkward conversations about who me, Nick, and Hobbs thinks are hot and guys aside, thanks for listening to 4Fan Sports Podcast and your continued support of 4Fan Sports. We hit a little bit of a rough spot with school starting back, but we're trying to fill it out, and we'll see a new revamped 4Fan Sports coming your way shortly. Of course, we want to thank Shelby for stopping by for her first podcast. So, Shelby, thanks for joining us. We really enjoy having you on staff and everything, so
Thanks for having me.
thank you. Of course, Nick Rapier, once again, it's been a pleasure, sir.
Ta-ta for now, everybody. TTFN.
And Tyler Hobbs, give your great sweeping goodbye.
Bye-bye. Derek Jeter is a biracial angel and by far the most attractive male athlete.
You should have
Maybe
shot a
person
All right, so...
in the world.
All right, so once again, this has been the 4Fan Sports Podcast. Hopefully next time Ryan Potter will be able to join us and not live in that dorm life. So for everyone at 4Fan Sports, I'm Josh Wilson, and keep moving forward.
Yep.
Chill.